Welcome everybody. Thank you for coming out to our Scholar Day presentation. I'm Jesse Phillips. I hope you're enjoying your day of scholarship and academia. This is a great day. Thanks for coming out. So what are we going to talk about today? First impressions. What the heck are we doing with desks? What the heck do we have pictures of desks? What is interesting about this at all? What's interesting about a desk? Not a whole lot. That's not true actually. There's a lot interesting. We're going to talk about the genre called creative nonfiction. It's a kind of writing that maybe some of you haven't heard of before. So what exactly is creative nonfiction? Sounds a bit like an oxymoron, right? Creative, making things up, creation, not fiction, and then nonfiction, which is not making things up. So what the heck is that? Creative nonfiction, I'll give you a brief description, it's first and foremost, it's nonfiction. So it's all true. It's all life experiences, life stories, everything that is true and that can be verified and is not making things up, but presented in a creative way. It leaves room for the author's voice, it leaves room for reflection, it leaves room for the reader to take something away from this experience, this story that actually happened. So it's a really fascinating genre, in my opinion. I like it a lot. So we're going to talk about the steps in writing creative nonfiction by our collaborative essay that we worked on in our creative nonfiction class. A lot of people are here that are in that class, PH 247, so thank you for coming out, guys. So our collaborative essay, dealing with the size and space in college classrooms and the desk chairs, especially in Chapman Hall. So if we go to the next slide, the first thing that we want to identify in creative nonfiction is the apparent issue. This would be like the problem. What's going on? What's a pressing issue that we need to address? What's the obvious reason for starting a creative nonfiction piece? For us, it was the wooden desk chairs in Chapman Hall, and the issue of space. As you can see here, we're cramped, and this is all of our books out here, and it's a problem. So that's our apparent issue. That's what we want to address. That's what we want to get to. And so for this presentation today, our apparent issue to you guys as listeners, as readers of our essay, is how to do research in creative nonfiction, to learn a little bit more about creative nonfiction. Another thing that we'll get into, along with the apparent issue, is the deeper issue. This is a big deal in creative nonfiction. You can't just write something with an apparent issue and that's it. That's a report. But the deeper issue is, what can we as readers take away? What can the author tell us about his opinion, maybe, if he wants to put his opinion in there, about his reflection? What is it that is important about what you're writing? And that's really essentially creative nonfiction. We can go to the next slide. Here it is. This is our apparent issue. This is the problem right here in Chapman Basement. This is where it all starts. This is where creative nonfiction starts. It starts with life experiences. It starts with life problems. It starts with life stories. So right here, as you can see in this top picture, that's me on the right. Not only do I have a gigantic cowlick on the back of my head, but I am pressed right up against Nick. And we didn't move any of these desk chairs. This is how exactly it is in the basement of Chapman. And so also here, this is our creative nonfiction class, just having fun, I guess, in the desk chairs. Look at this kid right here. He's having some trouble with his computer. Look at his face. He's having fun. Nick's yawning. This is a problem. And this guy, this is important. This is Josh Lineroad. He's a student here at Mount Union. He's 6'9", and he's a former roommate of mine, so he's a good friend. And so I got to see how a man of that size deals with school issues like desk chairs. And this is a picture of him sitting in there. That's a problem. That's an apparent issue right there. he's having a tough time. But he was very a big vital piece to our essay. He volunteered to help us with research and to give us some of his experiences. So great shout out to Josh there. And that's another important thing to point out in creative nonfiction. He was almost like a bit of a crux in our essay, because we focused on him. We started the piece by talking about Joshua Lineroad is a student. We introduced him, and that helps to bring people into what you're writing. It gives you a human experience that can bring you into this important topic about body size, about issues of space in learning environment. So it's that special thing about creative nonfiction that it's human. It's a human element. There's human empathy involved, and it brings you in, and it makes you care. So that's our problem right there. So now we'll get into the research that we had to do, the art of research we call it, in creative nonfiction. And for that, Nick